Live from Detroit, Michigan, USA. In my house. In my house. In my house. Hosted by T. Carlita. In my house. Hosted by T. Carlita. Hosted by T. Carlita. Hosted by T. Carlita. Live from Detroit, Michigan, USA. Live. In my house. In my house. Hosted by T. Carlita. Where the true stories are told and great music is played. Welcome to another episode of the In My House Techno Music Show. I am your host, T. Carlita, and it is the first of the month, 1st of September. Summer is just about over and fall is definitely making its way in. So this month on our Spirit of 313 offerings, we will be featuring DJ Sense, 2 cents of house history, with the spotlight on DJ Donna Edwards, and Stevie Anderson's For Those Who Know, with the spotlight on Eddie Fowlkes. Plus, we have a Spirit of 313 mixed by T. Carlita, myself, with tracks selected by Stevie Anderson. And also throughout the show, you will hear a couple of tracks that I discovered in my driving travels, listening to my Pandora random selections. A couple of tracks by Mr. Quentin Harris. Matter of fact, we're going to start off with this track by Mr. Quentin Harris. I've seen him here in Detroit, and to hear his music while I'm driving through a random week, to hear it was really cool. So let's get off into Let's Be Young by Quentin Harris for the In My House Techno Music Show. And right after that, DJ Scent will give her 2 cents of house history. This is T. Carlita for the In My House Techno Music Show, and welcome to this show. are In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
Greetings for the In My House Techno Music Show with host T. Carlita. This is DJ Cent Gives 2 Cent House History. Showing love to one of my favorite female DJs. I want to call her a legend. Her name is Donna Edwards. If you haven't heard about her, please take a moment to discover who she is. From Donna's first encounters with music mixing, thanks to former neighbor legendary DJ and promoter Donna Welch from Sound Factory Bar and Underground Network, Edwards had the ideal of blending beats and rhythms to make people move. Encouraged by weekly family outings to Brooklyn's revered Empire skating rink, Donna was influenced by innovative talents like T. Scott and DJ Big Bob, who helped motivate her decision to learn the craft and pursue gigs. Armed with that can-do attitude and a simple mobile set, Donna performed her first paying gig in Queens, New York bar in 1982. Donna's first club residency began in 1991 with Tracy Predigan of Trey's Production at the Jane Street Cafe. From there, she went on to play at New York City's mega clubs, Silver Shadow, Roxy, Octagon, Warehouse, and then eventually hit the Shelter for various promoters. Donna also has traveled, making guest appearances, all over. DC, at the Dance Circuit, Club Tracks and Edge. She says one of her favorite residencies was at the Warehouse in the Bronx, New York. Back home in Brooklyn, she was a third of the trio with partners Little Ray and Tyrone Francis. They were anchoring the thriving Brooklyn event at the 66-7 Lounge on Wednesday nights with KO. She also started her residencies at the Brewers' other classic spot, Frank's Lounge, for their Friday F-Fun soiree. She continued to stretch the boundaries of her fame with her gender-bashing appearance. She did an 8-hour set at Club Shelter, the first woman ever to play at Club Shelter, with resident Timmy Regisford and Freddie Sanos. That was their underground haven for the club goers. She opened up the sets for the maestro Timmy Regisford, for a few months. And that just kind of opened the door even more. Donna started traveling, doing even more events. She hit a tour and went to play at Rail's Wannabe's Faces in Japan. She also created her new radio sort of sound called Shades of Dance. The club lovers have been supporting her for years. She's had the opportunity to come here to Detroit and play a couple of times, and I got an opportunity to see her. Her, Serena Tyler, and DJ Minx had played together at Club Bookies. And I say it was a true treat, when you get a chance to hear someone that you've watched and kind of, seeing what they were doing over the years, and to actually get a chance to meet them, so down to earth, so cool. But her set was amazing. She came and rocked the box, and it was just a treat to see her do her thing, especially here in the D. she continued to do her Shades of Dance radio show. It used to air on cyberjams.com and from 2003 to 2010, but now it has returned to www.dhpradio.com. That airs every Tuesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's been a member of the Judy Weinstein's record pool, For the Record, and currently works as an A&R for Freddie Sanders Shelters Records. I mean, Shades of Dance has been something that she's created that has just, buzzed all over the world. Her experience and just the legendary part of her being a female, playing with some of the biggest DJs in New York. I mean, I love that. I just love the way she stepped up the boundaries of what she has done. And she has influenced so many, like myself, to just continue this path that female DJs and producers have started. So big ups to her. If you guys need to check her out, that's Donna Edwards. You can catch her on Facebook, or you guys can check her at dbkny@hotmail.com. You guys, this has been DJ Cent Gives 2 Cent House History. You guys can get my mix CDs, USB drives, anything you need at djcent.com. For the In My House and Techno show, for my girl T. Carlita, you guys have a good night. Take care.
Hair Wars producer Hump the Grinder invites you to the Hair Wars reunion in Las Vegas, Monday through Wednesday, January 15th through the 17th, 2018, for a series of parties and get-togethers. The hot spot will be the fabulous Luxor Hotel. If you're relevant, we'll see you at the Hair Wars reunion in Las Vegas. Make your plans now. For more info, go to hairwarsustour.com. It's entertainment, baby.
We can all find that level of happiness if we first find something to live for. For many of us, it's music. Then, having found it, we can raise our happiness to the level of the music that we love. Then we become the best that we can be through that same music. It is incumbent upon us all to share this wonderful feeling and to inspire each other towards a new beginning that will turn out to be the soundtracks of our lives. This is our belief from us to you. We can and always will be the spirit of 313. And now please enjoy this month's Spirit of 313 mix, blended together by yours truly, T. Carlita, and tracks selected by Mr. Stevie Anderson of the UK. You are In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.
Sisters, brothers, 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 sisters,
There are many different colors in my shack, like red, white, and blue, red, black, and green, you know what I mean. The self-destruction, genocide, suicide, no place to hide. Is there no way back? Is there no way back? For every step forward, you have to be pushed back. And that's the reality inside my psychedelic shack.
Inside my house, there's still God. I'm holding on, although it's hard. I've got the strength to carry on. I'm still standing when hope is gone. I am living strong. I live in real strong. I live in strong. I live in real strong.
And now it's time for some techno and house music history 101, or as we call it, For Those Who Know, by Stevie Anderson, show historian from the UK, for the In My House Techno Music Show Incorporated.
Hi everyone, this is Stevie Anderson from the UK, bringing to you this month For Those Who Know, featuring Eddie Fowlkes, courtesy of T. Carlita's In My House Techno Music Show Incorporated. For many years, dance music aficionados have been writing constantly about the renowned trio of Juan Atkins, Derek May and Kevin Saunderson, while marginalizing the impact of Eddie Fowlkes. However, a true narrative of the inception of Detroit techno cannot be told without mentioning the important contribution of Eddie Fowlkes as one of the genre's influential pioneers. When we delve deeper into his career, a fuller picture emerges of the key roles he played in the development of techno that contradicts the unfair tag of unsung hero placed upon him. During his formative years, music was a constant feature. The first key moment was seeing DJ legend Daryl Shannon DJing at the Charivari party. Folks witnessed the call and response vibe between the DJ and the crowd and the spiritual feeling that was prominent that night. From that moment on, Fowlkes was hooked, and it became his dream to be a DJ and experience that same vibe. In 1978, Eddie Fowlkes received his first mixer for Christmas, and with his DJ equipment now complete, it did not take him long to master the art of DJing and quickly become a regular spinner on the underground party scene. His natural exuberance, allied with his technical skill, enabled him to create quick and fluid mixes, which earned him the nickname of Eddie Flashin Fowlkes. Even though his love of DJing was deeply embedded, Fowlkes was still very much a party-goer and would travel anywhere to check out the hottest parties. The early 1980s saw the birth of new electronic dance sounds sweeping back and forth between America's East Coast and Midwest states. The principal cities were New York, Chicago and Detroit. Eddie Fowlkes travelled to Chicago in 1981 to see Frankie Knuckles DJ at the Warehouse. This was another key moment for Fowlkes, as he observed Knuckles' use of a reel-to-reel tape machine to play re-edited tracks during his DJ sets. Folks realized then that a DJ can be more creative by adding other components to a standard DJ setup. Back in Detroit, Juan Atkins had found success with Cybertron and was busy promoting his DJ collective known as Deep Space. That included himself, Derek May, Kevin Sanderson, Art Payne, Keith Martin and Eddie Fowlkes. They were the new kids on the block as a DJ collective, but what set their parties apart was the experimenting with 808 and 909 drum machines, a mixing board and a cassette deck, alongside 2 turntables, sometimes a 3rd turntable, and a mixer. This new concept of DJing was inspired by Eddie Fowlkes, and the first strains of what later became known as Detroit Techno can be traced back to the Deep Space parties. It was during a Deep Space party that Eddie Fowlkes experienced a spiritual awakening that prompted him to make records. The incident took place as Juan Atkins was DJing and playing a Cybertron record, when Fowlkes suddenly felt enveloped in a pitch-black void and hearing a voice telling him to make a record. Fowlkes sought advice from Juan Atkins, who lent Fowlkes some equipment to get started. After months of working on an idea, Fowlkes had produced his first track, he titled Goodbye Kiss, which Atkins released on his Metroplex label in 1986. Goodbye Kiss was a triumph for Fowlkes, and it was a vindication of his vision and his perseverance. His success also spurred on Derek May and Kevin Sanderson. Both had been working on releasing their own music as Fowlkes had already done. The early 1990s dance music scene was being saturated by the UK rave culture, and the original ethos of Detroit techno was gradually being lost. Eddie Fowlkes responded with a new sound he called Techno Soul, a music form that is a tribute to Detroit's musical heritage and its spirit. He found allies in Santonia Eccles and Art Forrest, with whom he produced tracks with. Fowlkes also found allies in Berlin, where he met and collaborated with Moritz van Oswald and Thomas Vellman, calling themselves 3MB. They produced 2 albums for the Tresor label. The latter album was called The Birth of Techno Soul, released in 1993. In 1996, Fowlkes compiled an array of tracks by some of Detroit's most celebrated techno artists, titled True People, and further extensions of his techno soul philosophy are found in the 2 record labels he owns, City Boy, which he established in 1993, and Detroit Wax in 2004. Eddie Fowlkes has been a great ambassador for Detroit during his time in the music industry, and the city of Detroit has shown its appreciation on 3 separate occasions. First, by the Detroit Historical Museum, who honored Fowlkes in their exhibition called Techno, Detroit's Gift to the World. Secondly, Fowlkes was inducted into Detroit Legends Plaza with his handprints forever set in cement. And thirdly, Fowlkes was honored alongside his peers, Atkins, May and Sanderson, at the 4th Freedom Awards for their outstanding achievements in music. His devotion to God, to his family, to Detroit and techno music makes him the man he is today and the techno legend he will always be. For as long as we keep singing his praises, no longer will he be known as the unsung hero. That's all from me until next time. Thank you for tuning in and supporting the show. My special thanks go to T. Carlita, and to all of you I wish peace in the spirit of 313.
The question is not necessarily a question, but is there anything that hasn't been asked of you and you just kind of wish that you could just answer and say something?
Yes, and that's, you can't take none of this shit when you die. So I think once you realize that and you come to that conclusion, then I think the music will flow better. I think you'll be a better person in this industry, because, you know, you can't always watch the guy above you. You got to watch for the motherfuckers below you, because them the motherfuckers that take notes that come wipe you out, because they coming up the ladder as you coming down the ladder. So after 30 years in this thing, I just like, you know what? I don't even read my interviews. I don't have shit on my wall. I don't stroke my shit. I just live life, you know, because I seen a lot of people sell their soul. I seen a lot of people sell their soul And when I made my first record, and the people who didn't like me, they changed. You know what I'm saying, to approach me. But I was like, damn, when I was on the street, you know, you had shit to say to me, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, so I took that experience way to now, and I was like, realize that, you know, you can't take none of this with you, so you might as well just make good music, play good things, and be blessed that you have people want to see you, interview you, book you, you know, put money in your pocket. And this doesn't, you know, people have to realize that, you know, you can't take none of this with you. Because when you go on the ground, that shit just stays where it's going to stay. So you might as well just enjoy your life. And that goes to the part when you said approachable. It's like, yo, man, I mean, because you got to remember, when you make this music, it's for the vibration of your body. So that music is a spiritual thing. So when your body vibrate, it makes that spirit vibrates your body. Then from that point, you got to say, is it for the good vibration or the bad vibration? That's why I'm not really into dark music. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I'm into shit that makes people feel good. And you can feel it, you know, and I just can't play at dark clubs, you know, or that the shit is just dark, you know. I gotta have happiness, you know, funness, and it all applies to that initial thing. You can't take none of this when you die, so you have to realize to make some cool, positive shit, because the vibrations, because you gotta remember this, the vibrations is a motherfucker, but music, you don't choose music, music chooses you. And once you realize that, on top of that, then you can understand where you at as a person to make good music and to make and select good music and play it to the mass of people, because you are an instrument from God. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But it took me years to understand this whole thing. Because, you know, I'm like, well, damn, after so many years, like, why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Because it makes me feel good. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like a drug. Mm-hmm. So, and if you put the two records together and you put it in the middle, you know, that's the dopamine, because it's like that's the third record. You get it? Mm-hmm. So when you ride that bitch and you put it in the middle, that's the new third record that you hear. So that's the dope of people, you know, because when everybody wants to be a DJ, and that's what they hear, but they don't understand it. So when you deep into it, I mean, because me and Juan, we have all these deep conversations. And that's the only person I can really talk to music about is Juan, because a lot of people, they looking for money, they looking for the bitches, they looking for this, blah, blah, blah. Instead of understand that music chooses you, and you have to understand how to use it. You feel me? Because you see these cats around here, they've been here for years, they don't understand that music has chosen you to do what you're supposed to do. You feel me? And that's why people don't last, because the music didn't choose them, they in it for another different type of game. You feel me? Yeah. So that's why I don't really get a lot of people, I don't get along with egotistic cats. Right. You know, when your shit is so big you can't walk in the door. Right. I can't fuck with you. Right. You know, so that's why I have a lot of conflicts with people, because like, look, man, I'm way ahead of you, because you know, once you understand the game, you know what I mean, because you'll be successful and the money be plentiful. Right. You know, right. As long as you're successful, the money gonna be there. So what's next? Other than be who you are.
give you a goodbye kiss. At least I could give you a goodbye. At least I could give. At least I could give. At least. 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 At least I could give you a goodbye kiss. At least I could give you a goodbye kiss. At least I could give you a goodbye kiss.
for me, that's what makes a song or track cool, special, unique. That's what I think about when I sit down to write a song. Music for me can express those types of feelings far better than any other language can. So for me, that makes a song or track cool, special, unique. That's what I'm talking about when I sit down to write. Music can express those types of feelings far better than language can. So for me, that's what makes a song or track cool, special, unique. That's what I think about. So for me, that makes a song or track cool, special, unique. That's what I'm about. I'll sit down to write. Music express those types of feelings far better than language can. So for me, that's what makes a song or track cool, special, unique. That's what I think about. Those types of feelings far better than any other language can. Any other language can. Any other language can.
Yep. Just hold her that way. Yep. Her?
Yep. I want to be next to her.
Over here.
Right. Because they're going to edit it, so it doesn't matter. All right.
Well, let's get serious now.
Okay, I got to think of the words. This is what makes a track cool, unique, fresh. That's what I think about when I make a song or a track cool or unique or fresh. Thank you.
Hair Wars producer Hump the Grinder invites you to the Hair Wars reunion in Las Vegas, Monday through Wednesday, January 15th through the 17th, 2018, for a series of parties and get-togethers. The hot spot will be the fabulous Luxor Hotel. If you're relevant, we'll see you at the Hair Wars reunion in Las Vegas. Make your plans now. For more info, go to hairwarsustour.com. It's entertainment, baby.
I just love Hair Wars. Well, that concludes this week's episode of the In My House Techno Music Show. I am your host, T. Carlita, and I hope you have enjoyed this month's Spirit of 313 offerings, as we call it. DJ Sense 2 Cents of House History featuring DJ Donna Edwards, and a special For Those Who Know featuring our man Eddie Fowlkes, who was actually voted 2016 Techno Artist, Best Techno Artist through the In My House end of the year award survey poll, and you guys voted for him, and hey, now you know why he is who he is. And now we're going to end the show the same way we began it, with a track of a discovered track by Quentin Harris, Detroit native, doing major things out there in the house and techno industry music. This is actually called House by Quentin Harris. Enjoy it. Thanks again. This is T. Carlita. See you next week. You are In My House, hosted by T. Carlita, where the true stories are told and great music is played.